So I am recording a video for my steeple. I know that you're asking for a PESTLE, but myself and Darren Forder has implemented a steeple, so it's just an extra E. So PESTLE obviously stands for political, economical, social, technological, legal and environmental. Steeple, similar, social, technological, economical, environmental, political, legal, and ethical. So as you can see, just what the aspect is on the left-hand side in column B, the issue/opportunity in column C, whether it's internal or external to Grafoil, whether it's positive or negative for Grafoil. So I'll just fly through a couple. Social, we've got a small workforce, means limited holidays and sickness cover. We must ensure minimal overlap in staff holiday and must ensure staff are trained as in many areas of company operation as possible to give flexibility should any staff become ill. Still, skill scarf, loss of key staff members. So obviously that's internal, and obviously that's negative to the company if we don't do that. Falls into this business continuity aspect where the business should continue no matter what happens. And again, it's a phrase of knowledge is power. So we need to train as many people as reasonably practicable in all areas to ensure the business can continue no matter what happens. Another one, large competitors can often appear more attractive for work and often contact our staff on contracts. Yeah, it's an issue. Again, it's negative for company. It's not necessarily happened, but is obviously we build electrical cabinets. So there's many companies, Schneider, Siemens, that do all this type of stuff. So there are bigger fish in the pond, so to speak. We'll go for this one. Large scale fire on premises due to large amounts of chemicals, fuels, options. Yeah, obviously, like many maintenance companies, engineering companies, we do have a lot of cost. So if that does happen, we are only on one site, and we obviously haven't got any backups. If this site does go up in flames, we've got oxyacetylene for welding. But obviously, we've got all mitigating actions to prevent this from happening. Transport's outsourced to a third party. This can occasions deliver products late. Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, I mean, it is an issue. You never know what happens. Certainly in these times with delays at ports and stuff like that. But we do inform. We do book the transport in plenty of time for it to get onto site. We work backwards from the date that the customer requires it from site, so it is prior preparation. And then the one below it, damage to customer property throughout movement and storage. Obviously, we don't. If it's in Britain, sometimes we do get it in the back of our van, depending on how big the equipment is. But yeah, there's always the risk of damage to the equipment through moving and storage. We'll go on to technological. Must take all necessary steps to ensure that all data is kept secure and correct, whilst also ensuring access to data is maintained. Otherwise, day-to-day company operations cannot be completed. Data backup and replication is vital to data integrity. Within regular backups of critical service data must be performed. Recent offline copies of data must be secured to protect the operation data from corruption and loss. So yeah, again, internal, positive, negative. So we do this. We have a monthly backup call. The director who does this, and we work alongside an IT company who has access to all our servers, etc. And now we are migrating across to SharePoint, and obviously that's all works up in the cloud, so to authentication, security, etc., etc. If fibre optic and telephone connections are interrupted as a result of disruption to the external network, external access to via phone, web, email, and web cookies, yeah, it's an issue, and that would obviously damage the day-to-day business. But we can install a 4G dongle to ensure business continuity. We'll go into economical. Fluctuations of global markets directly affecting international exchange rate can have a direct impact on our invoice values. Yeah, again, internal, it can be negative. It can also be positive. So again, it all depends on how the market's going at the time. Customer bankruptcy, failed to settle account balance will leave us in a difficult position. Again, it's always a possibility. That's why it's been raised as an issue, and that would negatively affect the company. Not necessarily happened, but this certainly we've had to withhold some customers' equipment before due to them failing to settle final balance. Moving on to environmental. Will, wherever possible, source products from reasonable manufacturers and will dispose of any hazardous materials reasonably. All scrap metal will be sold as scrap so it can be recycled and reused. Internal, yeah, positive. So that's great for the environment. We're doing everything we can do at the minute to ensure that we are following all environmental policies and legal aspects. And possibly we may be looking at going to 14,001, which is the environmental policy. It's another environment, disposal of chemical on site, training staff in operation, and this to prevent accidents. Yeah, speaks for itself. Internal, that's positive. We don't want people just chucking waste disposal down drains, etc. Political. The big one, the potential unstable and unknown outcome of Brexit and the way we work with international clients places us in a position of uncertainty. A relatively high percentage of our turnover is generated with clients that are based throughout Europe. Yeah, so again, internal. Positive and negative, we're still in a transition period. We don't know fully what trade deals we'll get, but like it said in there, we do deal with the majority of our customers are in Europe. However, our group is located in France. We are obviously Group Rondo owned. We've got an EU representative in Sonicam. So we're doing everything in our power to ensure that we shouldn't be affected by Brexit. Moving on to legal, GDPR directly impacts. We must always maintain our own compliance and our knowledge where it directly impacts our clients. Yeah, so we use citation for our for HR stuff, for our HR aid, so to speak, to ensure that always GDPR is followed. Certain few employees or directors have been on GDPR training, so know exactly what it is for GDPR. Ethical. Ensure that the health and safety is paramount to all internal and external parties. Yeah, it speaks for itself. You go to work in one piece, you want to come home to your loved ones in one piece. And then another ethical, ensuring that all employees work no more than the maximum number of permitted working hours and paid fairly and in accordance with the law. Yeah, we don't want to overwork our employees, both for legal and ethical reasons. You want your employees to stay at Refoil because of how good it is and they look after their staff. So yeah, so that's just our steeple. I know once again you asked for a PESTLE. It's only the same, but we've added an extra knee in there, and it got implemented when we were going for ISO 9001.